organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
No. Unfortunately, no.
What this man says Iowa City doesn't quite nail.
And cutting culture? What piece of Iowa City's history is being cut from the course menu?
And in sports, we take a look at the NFL Draft.
See where your favorite Iowa football players ended up.
All that and more coming to you live.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Cole Johnson.
And I'm Katie Sextro.
A riot-quenching curfew has been lifted in Baltimore today, just 6 days after riots broke out in reaction to the controversial death of Freddie Gray. The city's mayor has ended the citywide curfew. This comes just 2 days after manslaughter and second-degree murder charges were filed against the 6 officers who handled Gray's arrest and transport. Gray died after a ride in the back of a police van where he suffered a broken neck.
A former University of Iowa ITS employee is being charged with invasion of privacy after he planted a camera in a campus bathroom. 46-year-old Nicodemus Hendrick, who used to work for the school's Information Technology Services Department, hid the recording device in a unisex bathroom at the Old Capitol Mall. The bathroom is used both by ITS employees and the general public. Police uncovered nude photos, some of ITS employees, when they searched his home computer. Hendrick's charges ring in as a serious misdemeanor. That means at most a year in jail with a fine of $1,800.
Hidden pieces of Native American history were uncovered this week as one UI classroom took to the streets of Iowa City to show what people may have been missing on their daily downtown walks. But it could be the last of its kind. Megan Horahan has the story.
A class called Native Histories and Endurance in the Midwest proved that Native American history is alive and well in Iowa City by putting together a historical walking tour. The tour was a culmination of what students found through their coursework, and they realized things were missing in their high school curriculum about Native cultures.
The process of teaching Native studies involves unlearning a whole bunch of sort of stereotypical ideas.
And after they learned accurate histories, they were able to actually design and lead this 15-stop tour to engage the community.
So we turned the tables, I guess, here at the end of the semester. The student tour guides were the teachers.
Throughout the tour, they stopped at points all over Iowa City and the UI campus, and the results will be an online tour focused on educating people in a non-typical way.
The hope is that this sort of thing can continue.
But there's one major issue that can stop this from happening.
This class that we're in right now is actually in danger of being cut from course offerings.
Students are disappointed that something that created such a big impact on their education could go away.
Because it gives people the agency to draw their own conclusions, and that becomes so much more valuable than any sort of like textbook knowledge that people give you.
As of now, the university does not have this course as an option for next semester, but students like Abby hope that future students will take interest to change that. This was Megan Horahan for Daily Iowan TV.
Thanks, Megan. Is Apple afraid of needles? A new discovery that links tattoos to malfunctioning Apple Watches suggests the answer may be yes. Friday, Apple confirmed that certain tattoos, yes, tattoos, temporary or permanent, can interfere with the smartwatch's heart rate sensor. Ink pattern can block light, shutting down the watch's ability to track light flashes that are absorbed into the skin.
Next, picture this. You travel over 10,000 miles from your home country to Iowa. Now your closest options for a home-cooked meal are restaurants with names like China Star, Best China, and China Wok. So how satisfying are they really? Michelle Nago has the answer.
Welcome to the Old Capitol Mall. It's lunchtime. While there are plenty of restaurants to choose from, where do international students go to get a little taste of home?
I like Seoul Grill, really good Korean food.
On this day, Seoul Grill had students lining out the door. Their restaurant's signature ramen noodles and kimchi fried rice are a go-to for hungry foreign exchange students.
It's only open during the week and lunch time, and they have really good grill
and the barbecue stuff. I've had Korean food all over the place, and this is pretty authentic.
But Korean dishes aren't the only ones found on campus. China Star
Yeah, pretty fantastic.
and Bubble Pop are among favorites.
This is better than actually my expectation. I'd recommend it very much. You should try it.
Even though Iowa City provides students with the international cuisine they're looking for, is it just as good as home?
No. Unfortunately, no. There's nothing compares with like good authentic Chinese food, and then I had to go back home to have that.
Reporting from the Old Capitol Mall, Michelle Nago, Daily Iowan TV.
Still ahead on Daily Iowan TV.
This man is biking across America. Find out why and how he came to stop in Iowa City next.
And a citywide bar brawl, but it wasn't the patrons fighting. Coming up.
But first, Suen Wong has a look at what will be ahead, a wet week.
Suen?
Certainly began as a dreary day today. This was a view early from our Pentagrass camp, catching that the burst of warmth and sunshine over the midday hours. Moving forward though, get ready for an active storm week ahead. Later this evening, another thunderstorm may roll in. Tomorrow, we start the day off at about 60s with cloudy skies and a chance of rain. Into the afternoon, clouds will remain with temps topping out around the 70s. Then overnight, back down to mid-60s. As we take a look at the rest of the week, storms coming Tuesday and more clouds Wednesday, but with a high of 80 degrees. Then Thursday through Saturday, storms are likely. Umbrellas are going to be a must this week. That's all from the weather studio. Back to you two at the desk.
This weekend marked the first of a summer full of Iowa City farmers markets. But as things are turning green all around the town, markets may struggle to make enough green. A nationwide study suggests the growth and popularity of farmers markets has begun to diminish. But here in Iowa, that effect hasn't hit yet. Specialists say the loyalty of Iowa's vendors and shoppers have helped Iowa avoid that fate. Iowa City's downtown farmers markets brings in an average of around 130 vendors each weekend.
Mental health isn't easy to talk about, but one man is trying to change that stigma by doing something different, riding his bike. Daily Iowan TV's Mary Cowell has more.
People have ran, biked, and walked across America to advocate for certain issues. But for the first time, one man is embarking on a cross-country bike ride to bring light to mental health. David Romano started his journey in San Diego, California, and will end in Washington, D.C. That's about a 3,200-mile bike ride. Along the way, he will stop at 3 colleges to speak for Active Minds, a nonprofit organization that encourages students to speak openly about mental health. On Friday, Romano took a break from his ride and stopped at the University of Iowa to talk to college students about mental health.
Mental health isn't talked about that much. We don't bring it up that much in everyday conversation.
He also enlightened the students about his struggle with mental illness.
But I was everywhere supposed to be and beyond, but still I didn't like who I was. I still felt like I wasn't good enough. And those feelings of frustration and inadequacy just got worse and worse, and I started having thoughts of just not wanting to be here anymore, hurting my high school.
Many of the students learned a lot about mental health that they didn't expect to hear.
I didn't know 1,100 students in North America killed themselves, and that's really crazy.
Romano encourages students or anyone who wants to be involved in this journey to follow him on Twitter or Instagram with the hashtag #OneRideForMentalHealth. Reporting from downtown Iowa City, this is Mary Caldwell for Daily Iowan TV.
It appears no one was safe from what is being called the fight of the century, Floyd Mayweather defeating Manny Pacquiao. Also facing off were some local bars. A pricey viewing fee that's based on bar capacity left some down and out. Sparring off in a ring of their own, social media were some of Iowa City's favorites. Here a post from what happened when Brothers Bar, located on the Ped Mall, took to Facebook to claim Bardo Bar, located on South Gilbert Street, was showing the fight illegally. Bardo playfully refuted the claim and posted their pictures of the packed establishment during the fight.
Now for some real athletic face-offs, we'll pass it over to the Daily Iowan Sports Studio.
Some surprising outcomes for NFL hopeful Hawkeyes this weekend. Nicole Taylor, how about that draft?
Cole and Katie, I was basically on the edge of my seat the first 3 rounds.
So was I, and we will tell you exactly why coming up in a little bit.
But first, on this Sunday edition of Daily Iowan TV Sports, Iowa softball tries to look for a Big Ten victory.
Unfortunately, that victory didn't come on Friday night in the series opener against Northwestern.
It was a battle of the pitchers, as Iowa's Shayla Starkenberg and Northwestern's Kristen Wood both pitched all 7 innings and combined for 9 total hits.
It was Northwestern's Julia Kuhn who scored the only run of the game when she slammed a solo home run to left center field.
After the 1-0 loss Friday, Iowa looked for redemption on Saturday in the second game of the series.
To tell us how that went for the Hawkeyes, we will send it over to Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Mark Fry, who has the recap.
Bob Pearl Field in Iowa City, the site of Big Ten softball on Saturday. The Hawkeyes were looking to avenge their 1-0 loss to Northwestern the night before. Ashley Yoways got the start for the Hawkeyes, but it probably wasn't the start she had imagined, as Northwestern's offense exploded for 8 runs on 10 hits in just the first 3.5 innings. Changes came in the top of the 5th as Jillian Neveretti replaced Yoways and looked to shut down the Northwestern attack. Wildcat starter Olivia Dewar looked flawless in her start and had the black and gold crowd wondering if they'd see the Hawks get into the run column. Aaron Erickson's solo home run in the bottom of the 4th gave the Hawkeyes their first run of the game. Iowa would go on to score 2 more in that half of the inning, including this RBI by Sammy Geierman. However, some great Iowa defense and a late inning appearance by Shayla Starkenberg wasn't enough to push the Hawkeyes over Northwestern. Northwestern went on to score 3 more runs in the final 2 innings, ultimately winning 11-6, much to the excitement of the Wildcats crowd. Northwestern sits at 2-0 in the 3-game series and looks to get the sweep Sunday on Iowa's Senior Day. Reporting from Bob Pearl Field, Mark Fry, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Earlier today, that series finished up when Iowa went on to win 8-6 on Senior Day.
Iowa baseball was also in action this weekend, but on the road.
The number 15 Hawkeyes traveled to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where they started the series off Friday night with an offensive surge.
The team tied a season-high record of scoring 13 runs on 15 hits, with 3 Hawkeyes leading the way.
Dan Potempo went 4 for 6 with 3 RBIs. Tyler Payton went 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs, and Nick Rossetti went 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs.
With that offensive production, the Hawks went on to win 13-7.
It was a completely different story on Saturday, though. It was Michigan who got the bats going.
With the game tied at 5 in the 6th, Iowa's pitching reliever Jared Mandel wasn't able to hold steady on the mound as Michigan produced hit after hit.
It was the 7th inning where Michigan ultimately broke free, scoring 4 runs on 5 hits to put them up 11-5.
The Wolverines took the victory and tied the series 1-1.
To find out who ended up winning that series, our Whip Around crew will take you through that on Monday's edition.
It was an exciting weekend for the National Football League as the 2015 draft took place in Chicago, Illinois.
It was a time for anticipation and strategy as 32 teams picked the best of the best.
As for former Iowa football players, 3 were selected in immediate rounds while 6 became free agents.
The first round had obvious picks of Jameis Winston as the first overall pick, followed by Marcus Mariota at 2nd, but then came the 5th pick.
The Washington Redskins made the decision that was said to be strong but conservative when they picked Iowa's Brandon Scherf.
The Baltimore Ravens made the next move for former Iowa players when they selected Carl Davis in the 3rd round.
In the 4th round, the St. Louis Rams picked up the offensive tackle Andrew Donnal.
After the long weekend, undrafted free agents became the next step for more former Iowa players.
Louis Trinket-Passat will join teammate Andrew Donnal with the Rams. Johnny Loudermilk went to the Chargers and Ray Hamilton to the Cowboys.
Running back Mark Wiseman went to the Cincinnati Bengals, Cavante Martin-Manley headed to the Cleveland Browns, and Damon Powell to the Arizona Cardinals.
And wrapping up the free agents is Quentin Alston, who went to the Buccaneers.
So exciting, so many players from Iowa. It'll be super exciting to see in the fall where they end up and who's going to be on that starting roster, hopefully.
It'll be really fun to watch.
Unfortunately, we are all out of time tonight, but catch us right back here Monday night.
Katie, Cole, back to you.
Iowa could have the next Grumpy Cat.
But this one is a bit sillier.
This Altoona native known as Durr, the cat is gaining internet fame. His signature tongue is actually a deformity, but the followers love it.
Durr's unique look has gotten him over 9,000 Instagram followers and even a finalist spot on Animal Planet's America's Next Cat Star. Now, he's a really cute cat, but I'm not sure about the name.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that'll do it for us tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
You can find us anytime on YouTube. Just search Daily Iowan TV. I'm Cole Johnson.
And I'm Katie Sextro. Make it a great night.